Imagine a world where there is no Iron Man, where Tony Stark's genius stays silent, and the symbol of hope he would become is extinguished before it can ignite. Obadiah Stane, instead of being outsmarted, rises to seize control of Stark Industries, thrusting the world down a darker, far more dangerous path. What new evils are unleashed when Iron Man is never born? In 2008's Iron Man, Tony Stark finds himself kidnapped in an Afghan cave, fatally wounded, and forced to build a Jericho missile for terrorists. Instead, aided by Ho Yinsen, Tony constructs the first Iron Man suit, the Mark I, and launches his journey from weapons dealer to armored Avenger. This pivotal escape is the spark for everything. Tony's transformation, the creation of the Avengers, and the world's first super-powered public hero. But what if Tony, racked with despair, fear, or even apathy, refused to build the suit? What if, instead of channeling his genius into salvation, he slowly surrendered to the terror and trauma surrounding him? Or worse yet, attempted to stall or comply, hoping for rescue that would never come? This cave decision isn't just about escape. It's the inflection point for the whole Marvel universe. Without the Mark I, Tony never becomes Iron Man. The Avengers have no armored founder, the narrative of redemption is wiped out, and Earth loses one of its greatest defenders against both earthly and cosmic threats, including Thanos. In this alternate timeline, Tony's genius is spent on improving the Jericho missile under duress. Hands bound, spirit broken, he never attempts to outsmart his captors. The terrorists, realizing his compliance, tighten their control and never give him space to build a secret suit. Yinsen pleads with him to fight, but hope slips away. Tony's refusal seals both their fates. Yinsen is crushed, feeling a sense of betrayal, but also deep sadness for Tony's loss of hope. The Ten Rings rejoice, believing they will soon possess the deadliest weapon on Earth. Elsewhere, Pepper Potts and Rhodey continue their desperate search, but only silence returns from the desert. Without the Iron Man suit, Tony never escapes. He dies in captivity alongside Yinsen, his body found months later, if at all. News of his death shakes the world, but Stark Industries, under interim leadership, quickly passes into the hands of Obadiah Stane. There is no redemptive arc, no Ironmonger, no heroic sacrifice, just a cold power shift within the company. Pepper is consumed by grief and guilt, feeling she failed Tony. Rhodey becomes more military-focused, bitter at the system's weakness. Stane, freed from oversight, is more ruthless, his ambition unchecked by Tony's conscience. Nick Fury, sensing the loss, must rethink his Avengers initiative, lacking both a candidate and a symbol to rally behind. Stane quickly assumes total control of Stark Industries.
Without Tony exposing his duplicity, Stane freely partners with darker arms traders, fueling global conflict and chaos. Stark Tech upgrades terrorist arsenals around the world. The public, mourning Tony, is blindsided by new wars ignited by advanced weaponry. Pepper Potts never rises as a heroic leader. She is sidelined and eventually leaves Stark Industries, disillusioned. Rhodey, robbed of his friendship and inspiration, becomes jaded, possibly leaving the service or becoming a war-hardened commander. Stane's arc shifts from secret villain to open tyrant, remaking Stark Industries in his image. No Tony means no Avengers. Fury's team phrase before it begins, disparate heroes stay isolated. Trust never forms between would-be allies. Steve Rogers wakes up to a colder world, facing threats alone. Eric Killmonger and other villains find easier paths to power. The Tony Pepper romance is erased, leaving only mourning and memories. The lack of Iron Man changes everything for the Infinity Stones. Loki's Chitauri invasion faces little resistance. The Mind Stone in the scepter falls into HYDRA or Thanos' hands more easily. The time heist is impossible. No Tony means no time travel plan. The stones move unchecked through shady hands, their threat magnified. With Stark Tech now in the wrong hands, shockwaves ripple through geopolitics. Nations destabilize. Warlords and terrorist cells surge with new power. Villains like Ultron or the Mandarin rise sooner, seizing tech once meant to protect the world.
S.H.I.E.L.D. faces infiltration without Iron Man's digital prowess to help weed out HYDRA. Without Tony's redemptive path, Stane becomes a world-class arms broker, darker than ever. Pepper fades from the world stage. Steve Rogers, isolated, becomes hardened or even disillusioned, lacking a kindred spirit to challenge and inspire him. Natasha Romanoff, without the promise of the Avengers, seeks redemption in her own, sometimes ruthless ways. Earth becomes a chessboard for increasingly brazen supervillains. Stark satellites, once meant for defense, become surveillance tools for war profiteering. Without Iron Man's inspirational spark, the age of heroes is delayed, or takes a darker, more militarized form. Aliens view Earth as ripe for conquest, unchecked by meaningful superhuman resistance. Instead of united Avengers, fragmented hero groups form, more susceptible to infighting and betrayal. Stane uses his resources to undermine S.H.I.E.L.D.
directly, and the world faces more frequent, militaristic global threats.
The balance of power shifts permanently into villainous hands. When Thanos comes, there are no unified defenders. Without the Vision, without the Iron Legion, Earth falls quickly to the Black Order's initial assault. Loki rules alongside Thanos, or dies trying. The world is conquered, not snapped, crushed under alien heel. Even Doctor Strange's magic is outgunned by Stark-derived tech. As hope fades, heroes like Steve and Natasha make last stands, sacrificing themselves in vain. Fury, forced to choose between surrender and extinction, either disappears underground or instigates a catastrophic, world-ending defense. Humanity's fate is decided by monsters in suits, not men in armor. The Chitauri invade New York, but there is no Iron Man to redirect the nuclear missile. The city is annihilated, millions die, and the world's spirit breaks. Thanos collects the stones unopposed, using Earth's loss as catalyst for cosmic dominance. Stane becomes Earth's puppet ruler for Thanos, trading human lives for tenuous power. Some lesser heroes survive, but their potential is stunted. The universe enters a fearful era, ruled by those who profit from destruction. Years later, Earth is a husk. Stark tech weaponizes oppression, not protection. Only scattered resistance cells survive. The very idea of heroism vanishes. Fear reigns. The Avengers are a myth that never became reality. Obadiah Stane is the supreme villain, eventually betrayed and destroyed by his new cosmic masters. Pepper disappears from history. Steve Rogers falls in a hopeless battle, a symbol seen and quickly lost. Natasha fades into the underground. Thor, lost in space, never finds his human allies. Thanos' victory is total. The Infinity Stones are scattered after the conquest, or used to remake the cosmos in Thanos' cold vision. The 9 realms fall one by one. The Guardians of the Galaxy form later, or not at all, without Earth's inspiration. The universe becomes less hopeful, more brutal. All the losses of the sacred timeline, Tony's sacrifice, the snap, the costs of heroism, are replaced by something worse. A world where hope was never born and victory is never earned. The price is the absence of the very heart that made the MCU's heroes heroes. Is this timeline better? It's darker, colder, and ultimately less redemptive. Iron Man's refusal trades immediate suffering for global, then universal collapse. Yet it forces us to consider, are heroes made by their gifts or the moments they choose to act? This scenario exposes the MCU's core theme. Heroism is a choice, not a destiny. Tony's decision in the cave, his embrace of suffering for the greater good, is what creates a universe worth saving. Remove that, and everything unravels.
One choice: Tony refusing to build a suit, cascades into the destruction of the Avengers, the rise of Stane, Thanos' easy conquest, and the fall of hope itself. A single moment, a universe undone. The MCU got it right. It's not the armor, but the man who builds it.
Tony's spark became a beacon for gods, soldiers, and spies alike. Without it, the Marvel Universe loses its heart. Would you have found the courage Tony did? Or would you have let fear decide the fate of the world? Every timeline is a lesson. In this darkest branch, the absence of Iron Man answers not how strong we are, but how much difference a single act of hope can make. This is the true power of the Marvel multiverse. Infinite destinies,
all shaped by the courage or cowardice of one. In a universe without Iron Man, heroes fade, villains rise, and hope is a casualty. Only one question remains. What timeline will you choose? Next time on Marvel Parallel Worlds, what if Steve Rogers never took the Super Soldier Serum? How the absence of Captain America changes everything. Subscribe for more.